This is the Wuben X2 Pro, and I'm going to tell you all about it right now. Upon unboxing, you'll find the X2 Pro itself, along with two 3.7 volt 920 milliamp 14500 rechargeable lithium-ion batteries, a C-type charging cable, a lanyard, a helmet clip, and the manual. Other accessories such as a red diffuser and tactical tail switch can be purchased separately on the Wuben website in the description. The X2 Pro is made of aluminum alloy, is IP68 water resistant up to 2 meters for 1 hour, has an impact rating of 1 meter, and weighs just under 140 grams or just under 5 ounces with the batteries on board. I'll leave the tech specs from the manual on the screen now just in case I leave out any details, so pause the video here to see those details. During my runtime test in the 1500 lumen turbo mode using the forward-facing LEDs, the X2 Pro reached a max thermal output of 115 degrees Fahrenheit or 46 degrees Celsius after about 28 minutes of use, and it ran for a total runtime of 2 hours and 35 minutes while slowly ramping down until the battery became completely depleted. During my secondary runtime test using the side-facing LEDs in the 400 lumen high mode, the X2 Pro reached a max thermal output of 105 degrees Fahrenheit or 35 degrees Celsius after about 37 minutes of use, and it ran at the 400 lumen output for over 4 hours, and then after that it slowly ramped down until the battery became completely depleted for a total runtime of 5 hours and 28 minutes from 400 lumens. Moving along to my recharge time test, the X2 Pro took just 2 hours and 2 minutes to fully recharge from completely depleted using my 65 watt Anker PD charger. Now let's take a brief tour of the modes and general operation of the Wuben X2 Pro.
Alright guys, now we're taking a look at the Wuben X2 Pro, and this is what it looks like. Pretty solid looking light. It's got some nice features on it. You have your C-type charging port on the side here, which is IP68 water resistant. It has a nice robust clip here. It has a full lockout mode, so you can lock it out, then you can put it into the side light mode, and then you can put it into the front-facing, forward-facing LEDs. Then you have your rotary wheel to adjust your settings, and this also pivots a little bit, so you can see that pivots, and these stay stationary, of course. Then you have a magnetic back here as well, and a lockout, so you can lock this, or you can press the button and the batteries will go shooting out the back. Has a little conduit here, so you can attach the tail switch that's tactical, and it's a cheap little plastic thing, but it actually works. It's functional. And then of course, let's jump into some of the button pushes here. In order to turn the light on, you have to put it into whatever mode you want. First, we're going to start off on the side light mode. Now that we're on, you just press the button once, and it's going to bring you into that white light mode. You can adjust the output by using the rotary dial here on the side, and then if you hold it down, it's going to jump over to the RGB. In order to go through the RGB settings, essentially, you can rotate and it will give you all the different hues that you want to use. And if you wanted to make it flash, double click and it will go into that beacon mode. Double click again, it brings you out of that beacon mode. You can adjust the output, so it's going to stay at 10 lumens the entire time. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's 10 lumens. Yes, it's 10 lumens for the RGB light on the side. And of course, you hold it down, it's going to bring you back for the white light. If you double click while it's in white light mode, you can bring yourself all the way up to that turbo side light mode. And that turbo, I believe, is 400 lumens as I throw the box across the room. So that's 400 lumens. That's not bad. That's pretty good output for that. And then of course, if you wanted to use the strobes for the side, double click while it's in RGB mode. So basically RGB mode, turn RGB mode off, double click. It's going to bring you over to the red and blue. Double click again, you got your red and green. Double click again, you're in your red and yellow. Double click again, it cycles back to that red and blue. And of course you hold it, press it once, it turns it off. And then when you press it again, it brings you right back over to the RGB mode. Now, if you wanted to use that white light, hold it down again, brings you right over to the white light. And of course it's adjustable like I said before. Now we're gonna try out the forward-facing LED mode. I'm gonna throw this into the low mode first. So this is how it's gonna work. The low modes, medium mode, and then high mode. and this is how it's going to look. So we're going to go ahead and put this into the flood, and I'm going to show you the LEDs change as I scroll the wheel here. This is what it's going to start to look like. And now I'm going to demonstrate it forward facing. I'm going to go all the way back to the bottom here, and this is what it's actually going to look like as I do that for the output. And of course, this is the low mode. And if I wanted to change it up again, I can jump into the medium mode, and it's the same deal. Brings you over to that flood to spot, and then we'll go all the way back to the flood again, and it'll flash once you reach the peak of where you can go. And then hold it down again. This is going to be the high, and the same deal. Roll right through it. It'll flash once it hits the peak, and there's the spot. So, and I can go ahead and cycle through again. And this is low, medium, high, low, medium, high. And if I put it into the spot when I scroll through in the low mode, it's going to be in the spot on that one particular one. So this is spot on low, but I'm in the flood on the medium. And if I wanted to change it to spot on the high, I can also do that as well, which is kind of neat. So spot, flood, spot. See how that works? And then if I wanted to change it back to flood on the high and spot on the low, or vice versa, I can just do it anyway. So that's how that works. That's pretty neat. And if I wanted to double click while the light's on, it brings you into the turbo. It's going to just bring all those LEDs up to the highest output that they're capable of. So that's what that is going to look like there. Pretty neat.
I wanted to point out also that there is a UV version for this light, and I'm going to show it on the screen now so you guys can see exactly what it looks like. It's pretty nice. The only difference between this actual UV version and the one that I'm showing you right now for the RGB version is just one has a UV light and the other one has a RGB light. Now, the one with the UV has a separate battery indicator on the side, and the one that is the RGB version just uses the RGB light as the battery indicator as well. But other than that factor, that's the only difference between the UV version and the RGB version.
All right, so guys, let's take this outside and see what it looks like in the dark.
The Wuben X2 Pro has a max beam distance of 205 meters or 672 feet in the 1500 lumen turbo mode. The LED color tint is, I'm guessing, around 5700K to 6000K, and there was no available information for Candela that I could find on the website because the information on the website was very limited. So if you guys find any information about the Candela or the color tints and stuff, let me know down in the comments below.
All right, guys, we are outside with the Wuben X2 Pro. I'm going to throw this into the side white LED, and this is going to be how it looks. This is 5 lumens. As you can see, we can't really see in front of us too far. The camera does not want to focus. Okay, there we go. That's what it's going to look like. That's 5 lumens. You can see out to the railing there in front of us a little bit. And of course, it can be ramped up slowly by using the wheel. And I say slowly, but I don't really mean slowly because the wheel is actually not my favorite part of the light, to be honest with you. It's kind of like it goes a little too far and it's a little grindy. And now I'm going to go all the way up until it flashes a couple times. And then this is going to be the 400 lumens. And this is the side facing LED. That's 400 lumens. It really does the trick. That lights up the entire porch here. See, I put it on the front of me. Say I'm using it as a duty light on the front of my shirt. And that's what it's going to look like, guys. You know, I can see in front of me. I can see everything perfectly fine. I can face it up or I can face it down. And that's what it's going to do. That's what it's going to look like. And then, of course, I switch it over to the RGB lights, and that's the red, blue, greens. And I'm going to go ahead through here. This is the purple. This is the blue. Remember, I'm using the wheel, so it's almost like difficult. This is green and more blue and kind of an orange, and then you got the red, and then the purple again. And then you double click, it will strobe, will flash. There you go. Double click again, brings it back. And you can see it doesn't really light up too much in front of me. This is 10 lumens. And that's what it's going to look like. I'm about a foot away from the railing in here in front of us. because the further back I go, the less you're going to be able to actually see it. So that's why I wanted to do it close up like that, so you guys can actually see that it is very much kind of a pain in the butt to film this, but that's what it's going to look like. And then of course switch it back over to that white, and that white lights up everything, of course, like I said. And now I'm going to do those blinking lights. This is the red and blue, and that's what the red and blue is going to look like right here. And then you double tap again, that's the red and green. So this is what the red and green is going to look like. And then double tap again, oops. Red and green, double tap again. Red and yellow, double tap again, get your red and blue. You guys some more contrast. This is the 10 lumen RGB mode. This is the blue, and then like the purple kind of color, and then it goes over to that other bluish color, and then you got this other greenish, yellowish, and then it goes over to an orangey color, and then red again, and then blue. And then of course you got your white mode from close up. That's what that looks like. I'll lower it all the way down. And that's the 5 lumen white mode from about 2 feet away. And then you got 400 lumen white mode from about 2 feet away. So give you guys some perspective there. Roll right through there. And then you have your police lights. And then you have your red and green. And then you have your red and yellow, which it doesn't really, it looks more greenish than anything. And now I'm going to demonstrate the forward-facing LEDs. I'm going to throw this into the low mode, and that's going to be 15 lumens. So this is what the 15 lumens looks like. And then I'm going to switch it slowly over to switch it slowly over from the flood. This is the flood. I'm going to switch it all the way over to the spot, 20 feet away from the railing there in front of us, and this is the 15 lumens. I'm going to go back over to flood. I'm going to switch it over now to the 150 lumen mode. We're in the flood mode. I'm going to switch it slowly over to the spot mode. That's what the spot looks like. 150 lumens. Drop it back over to the flood. And then I'll hold it down again. Now we're in the 400 lumens flood mode. And I'm going to ramp it over to the spot. So this is what it's going to look like in the spot mode. And it's 400 lumens. I'll bring it back over to the flood again. And now I'm going to double click, and we're in the 1500 lumen flood and spot mode. As you guys can see, this lights up everything very well. You can see the whole entire board. You can see me. You can see into the distance there a little bit probably. So not bad. 1500 lumens. Let's go to the railing over here and actually see what the 1500 lumens looks like. That's not bad at all. 1500 lumens. We're about 100 feet away from the tree line there. That's got a pretty good throw on it. I'll dull it down. Bring it back up, 1500 lumens. All right, guys, 1500. Very nice. And you can actually see out into the yard. It's not like you're not, like I can see all the way to that tree there, about 50 feet away. And you're lighting it up pretty well. Go to the base, all the way to the top. Not bad. All the way there in the middle. About 100 feet away, roughly, up at that tree line. So, very nice, guys. Very nice. This is a pretty cool light. 1500 lumens. Of course, this is what it looks like if I turn it off. This is what it looks like when I turn it back on. And we do have the ability to lower it and then higher it. put it on standard flood, and this is the 400 lumen mode, I believe, yes. Yeah, that's the 400 lumen flood. And then I'm going to switch it over to the spot. So that's what the spot looks like, 400 lumens. It pumps all the way out there into the tree line, double tap. That's the 1500 lumens. That's what that's going to look like. So it's doing the trick, guys. It's actually making it so you can see pretty far out. Like I said, about 100 feet to those trees all the way in the back there. Right there. One more test. This is the 400 lumen spot. That's the 100 yard test. I'm going to put it up to 1500 lumens. 1500 lumens shining across the road there. About 100 yards to that tree line across the road. It's a little bit floody, but pretty darn good. I mean, not bad at all.
Now for my pros and cons. First, the pros. The X2 Pro stayed relatively cool even at its highest outputs, and the runtimes were excellent and the outputs were very useful. Now for my cons. The rotary wheel was not smooth and it made using the RGB modes unpleasant. I've never been a fan of the rotary dials on flashlights, and very few companies have been able to pull it off successfully, and this is no exception. However, if I ignore the fumble of the rotary dial, the rest of the light works flawlessly, and I was happy with both the flexibility and reliability of the X2 Pro. So if you're looking for a reliable small flashlight for your backpack or plate carrier, then the Wuben X2 Pro is an excellent option. The X2 Pro retails for $83.99 for the RGB version. It comes with a full 5-year free from defects warranty. Currently, you can pick up the X2 Pro on sale for just $52.99 for the RGB version. There is also a UV version that replaces the RGB option with a UV LED instead, and I highly recommend both versions. I'll leave a link down in the description. I hope this video has been helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up if you found it useful. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Prepared Guy, and until next time, guys, stay prepared.
Hey there, thank you for watching. You can pat this cat